What's going on, YouTube family? It's been a long time coming. It's Christopher BF1, aka Christopher Bonilla Fernandez. Just call me Christopher. With that being said, RIP Charlie Kirk. It's been 1 week. I'm not gonna show fake love. I really have never heard of him before this. I mean, maybe in passing I have, like on Twitter or other YouTube stuff or other Christian political stuff that I've seen going around. It's very unfortunate what happened to him. The man had a family. I know a lot of people kind of lean differently when it comes to this type of stuff. Though I may not know a lot, it is interesting to hear other people's perspectives. I'm gonna go ahead and watch a video reaction of Theo Von, Candace Owens, and JD Vance. Kind of get their opinion on things because I do know Charlie Kirk had an affiliation with JD and Candace. And Theo Von is just amazing, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give that a go. With that being said, let's hop right into it.
I didn't know Charlie. I'd never gotten to meet him. I didn't know. I know we had different beliefs on some things. I didn't know a lot of his stuff, you know. I did admire that he was brave.
Right.
That he showed up to have conversations. Yeah, and I think it's just a culmination of that sort of things become so prevalent in our society. Like that video was so horrific, such a final and sick and distant thing. It was from so far away.
Yeah, it was awful. I saw it.
And maybe that's it, that somebody so far away can shut you down without ever having even like looked at you in the eyes. And it just seems so unfair.
Wow.
And so cowardly. Like, if there is a microphone there and he's there to debate, go and debate him. You know? Go speak your piece. Right. What matters is that you like kind of try and share whatever you're thinking or feeling. Go that far away, not even have the balls to go to the microphone or to... I think something about that makes me sick. That's what it is. I think it's made me feel sick.
And like kind of disturbing, you know?
It feels like some people in the world, like some like dark and powerful people know what's going on and they're not telling the rest of us. And I don't know if I'm the only person that's feeling that. I feel like they all know something that's happening. It always feels like there's something bigger and eviler in the distance hiding behind something that's kind of laughing a little.
Wow. Wow. That was it. Yeah, they're short clips, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go too deep into it because I know a lot of them talk about a lot of stuff, but it's awful, you know? It's awful. Very poor Charlie, man, just to be assassinated like that in cold blood in the streets like a dog. That's awful. You think about that, like we were only a year apart in age and he clearly obviously had a way more different lifestyle than me, and he got shot in one of the most conservative states in the country, you know, of all places, like the Mormon capital of the world, if not the only capital. But still, like, just for that to happen in broad daylight like that, it goes to show you that, man, if they want you out, they'll get you out. And it's hard to say because, like, you know, you think of that one guy, Cliff, right? I haven't watched much of his videos when it comes to Christian YouTubers or Christian influencers. I don't think I'm one of them. I'm very low key. Like, you have to kind of like dig a little deeper to find my content. It's not that I'm like very opinionated on this stuff, but like Cliff does the same thing, and that could have happened to him any one of those times, and it didn't. It happened to Charlie. You know, God knew that was going to happen from the minute Charlie was born to the minute you watching this video. And it's hard to kind of have that kind of like biblical approach to God's omnipotence to how things play out. You know, it's very sad that it does happen. And you know, the fact that like Theo is very well aware that there are evil forces out there beyond our control that kind of had a hand in how this was going to play out. Not that I'm right, not that I'm wrong, but it seems that Theo Von's perspective is, you know, pretty valid. But let's go ahead and watch Candace Owens, see what she has to say. I know they were homies. You know, I think they were a great example of a true platonic friendship, because clearly I know she's married and whatnot, and so is he, and they really just had this great friendship. So in honor of who they were as friends, you know, I'm gonna watch her video. So it's on Fox Local. Let's go ahead and get it popping.
Fellow conservative commentator Candace Owens speaking out on her YouTube platform addressing her late friend.
Yes.
But I don't want today to be about anything other than you guys knowing that Charlie really was an amazing person.
Oh, poor thing.
He was like, we were really close.
Yeah.
And he was my best friend and my brother. And I will never unsee the footage of what I saw.
Candace Owens, who previously worked with Charlie Kirk at Turning Point USA,
Very
had
true.
her YouTube live stream freeze tonight because more than 115,000 viewers tuned in.
Well, memorials for Charlie Kirk are going on across the U.S. This one outside Turning Point's headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona.
Another happened earlier tonight at Loyola Marymount University. That's where Fox 11's Laura Diaz was.
I just think it's pretty scary, you know? I mean, he was touring college campuses. I'm pretty sure it was his first tour of the season he was doing, and it's just pretty scary.
At Loyola Marymount University, the targeted killing of prominent conservative podcaster Charlie Kirk was on the minds of many students this 9/11. Kirk's assassination Wednesday, as he fielded questions from students at a small university in Utah, was a stark reminder of the politically polarized times. Turning Point USA was the conservative
Feels weird looking at
organization
him
led by the charismatic Kirk.
You know,
At
that day.
LMU on Instagram, there was confirmation that a Turning Point USA meeting would be held as planned on the campus Thursday evening. It read in part, "Today is a devastating day in human history. We planned this meeting before the tragedy unfolded yesterday. All are welcome in remembrance of Charlie Kirk."
I didn't agree with any of his political opinions, but I think what happened to him was absolutely horrible.
A day
Yeah.
after the shooting, at least 6 historically black colleges or universities across the country received threats, which were later discounted as swatting calls. Wednesday, conservative political pundit Ben Shapiro's scheduled appearance at the Ronald Reagan Library was postponed.
And we're not going to be deterred.
One day later, he batted down rumors that he had canceled his college tour this year with a defiant post.
That's I saw those rumors. They are false. I will be coming to college campuses, many of them this year. Charlie's voice is not silent.
Right.
We're going to pick up that bloodstained microphone where Charlie left it.
Would you go to a political
Wow.
event and feel comfortable on campus?
Yeah, I think so.
You would. So you think this is isolated?
I think it could happen anywhere, but it's just not. I'm not gonna be scared of it.
By this evening, the LAPD
Tough.
said that they had not received any special requests to patrol the campus. Near LMU, Laura Diaz, Fox 11 News.
Well, please stay with Fox 11 for continuing coverage of the Charlie Kirk assassination. If and when authorities find the suspect, we will let you know, of course. You can also find updates
Excuse me.
on foxla.com and the Fox local app.
Damn, that's crazy. Well, I know they showed the beginning of Candace Owens and a little bit of opinions of Ben Shapiro, but speaking of memorials, I don't know if you saw me react to that earlier. I seen some videos on Twitter of people just vandalizing his memorials, and it's sickening, it's awful, it's disturbing, you know, and like, it's amazing the world we live in, how much things have changed from then to now. You know, maybe it hasn't. I know. I don't know if you guys know in the hip hop world, there's this guy named DJ Vlad, and he interviewed, I think, this hip hop artist who talked about like just some sort of violence that takes place, and he says, DJ Vlad is quoted for saying, "I don't think the violence has stopped. I think the violence has just been recorded more," which is possibly very true. A lot of these things happen all over the world that we don't even know about, and the whole point is that now everybody has access to quick cameras that can just film everything that's going by. You know what I'm saying? Like, just my curiosity led me to watch, you know, the Charlie Kirk assassination videos, and like, you know, I mean, I come from a different part of the world where like I've seen things like this play out in front of my eyes. You know, I've seen, you know, things happen like that, and so I reacted differently. But in this situation, it's just, you know, very bizarre. It's very sad, and so his memorial being vandalized is just very awful. I do know about Nick Fuentes. I do know that they had like some sort of like beef / they were frenemies. Again, I've never watched either of the videos, but I'm aware that they exist and who they are, you know. So there's pretty much just that, and I know that Nick on TikTok that I saw that Nick said like, oh, you know, like Charlie never said anything good about me, but from now on I will now like live on a legacy or something like that, where Nick more or less understood that just because they disagreed doesn't mean that there could not be a common ground. And that was very powerful for Nick to say something like that. So we'll see what Nick does. As for Ben Shapiro, that was a very interesting perspective, that Ben Shapiro is also going to continue doing his college campus tours. I don't know if how I mentioned earlier that Cliff guy is from the, you know, the older Christian guy. You know, I don't know how that's going to play out, but Ben Shapiro is going to keep doing it. And I know Milo, Milo and Ben never saw eye to eye, but I do know who Milo is. and I'm aware of him, and I know he retired, and this is gonna get him to come out of retirement. So it's unfortunate that someone had to like pass away for all of this stuff to kind of like take place again. We'll see how things play out. You know, I really don't know what's gonna happen. Regardless, we'll see how many people stand up, how many right-wing politicians stand up, how many Christians stand up, how many conservatives stand up. Like, this even caused me to create a video 1 week later, because I think it's important that people know. I think it's, you know, I don't have the biggest platform in the world, but just to be able to, I guess, have an opinion on something is valuable, you know? So let's go ahead and watch JD Vance's clip here. Again, these clips aren't very long, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just give it a go. Let's see what JD Vance had to say, our vice president.
Hey everybody.
What's up?
JD Vance here, live from my office in the White House complex, and filling in for somebody who cannot be filled in for, but I'm going to try to do my best. My dear friend, the great Charlie Kirk.
JD Vance hosted the Charlie Kirk show in honor of the conservative activist who was killed on September 10th. Yeah, I do know Charlie and them.
Every single person in
We're
this
close.
building, we owe something to Charlie. He was a joyful warrior for our country. He loved America. He devoted himself tirelessly to making our country a better place.
Yeah.
He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president. Everyone knew him as this fearless debater, this guy who would take the conservative message into hostile places and inspire younger generations to have courage.
Right. So them together, yeah. Other group text chats. It was full of life, dude. Charlie was full of life. Wow. To Phoenix on Air Force 2 and helped carry his casket on the plane. That's sad, yo. On some real stuff, that's sad. Oh, gosh. Man, it's awful. I don't know what else to say, really, I don't. Even creating this video has too many, like, you know, plot holes or just, like, things that I don't know what to say, you know. It's just a very unfortunate thing that happened to a man who had a family, who I realized that, you know, had things gone differently for me and I would have, like, you know, been more popular, I think I would have gone to college campuses too, you know. Not that I'm the most educated, even though I have a bachelor's degree, or like the most, you know, politically aware person, but I would have probably done what he does. I really could have, you know. And I don't mean to make this about myself, you know. I'm sorry, you know, that is my apologies. This is a very sad incident that happened. People's lives were affected permanently, you know. I know he had a wife and kids, and this could be an interesting thing how it plays out. The fact that the Lord we serve is so omnipotent that from now on, the political world and the Christian world has changed because of one man's death. Kind of rings a bell. I don't know about calling him a martyr or something like that. I'm not really sure how that plays out to him, but what happened to him should not have happened. But God allowed it to happen. Now, as believers, if you believe in the Lord, there's a task at hand to be done. There's work to do. There's always work to do, whether you agree with him or not. Just as a believer, we're all the body of Christ, you know. The hand can't tell the foot, I don't need you, just because we have different goals. The nose can't tell the eye, I don't need you, just because we have different views. We're all in the body of Christ of how things play out. There's only one sense of truth, and that is that Jesus Christ came to redeem all of us. You know, loves us all very much, and that these things happen in life. There's been worth deaths, public deaths. The Bible is full of them. Charlie Kirk is just in a line of people who have, you know, had to be taken down. Not that they had to be, but the point is that they were brought down and they didn't have to. I feel like he had so much potential looking back at it. Like, I didn't know who he totally was, and I'm not going to show fake love. It's just very sad. I didn't know him very well. Like, I didn't even know his content. You know, I knew about him. I've seen him before here or there, like in some clips, but I'm not a political YouTuber. I'm just a Christian reactor guy, you know. So, very sad. Unfortunate for him and his family, and this is a turning point, right? This is a turning point for many believers, and just for America as a whole, for the world as a whole. So we'll see how things play out. May he rest in paradise, Charlie Kirk, and, you know, blessings and prayers to him and his family, his loved ones. You know, it's awful, but for those of you who are willing to rise up and continue on his legacy of what he did, and stand firm for the truth, you have my full support. You really do. And moving forward, you know, I'll keep doing my videos. These are just a hobby for me. You know, I have different plans in life, but Very sad. I don't even know what to say anymore, but Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. 1 week later. It still feels like it happened very recently. Like almost 2 days ago, yo, but wow. I can't believe it. But stay blessed, you guys, for real. Love your family. Stay close to those that love you. And don't ever be afraid. Right? If you serve the Lord, you're not called to be afraid. You're called to be confident. Right? He will equip you to do many things. So, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Stay blessed, you guys. I'll see you later.